Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 3 at Saratoga on Friday. It's the Grade 2 Amsterdam. 3-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs. Let's take a look at this field. The Amsterdam is the local prep for the very prestigious Grade 1 8 Jerkins, probably the signature race for 3-year-old dirt sprinters until the end of the year when they run the Malibu at Santa Anita. It's only a field of 5, but it's a pretty competitive group led by the 4 Jefferson Street. Your 8-5 morning line favorite coming off a triple-digit win over course and distance.
Right. Jefferson Street has the fig, Dan, and I guess that is what leads to him being the morning line favorite. To me, Valentine Candy should be the morning line favorite. He's the horse to beat. He's a 4-time stakes winner already, and he's just facing 4 horses in here who they all seem like they're pretty good, but they're not made horses yet.
Curious to see how this pace shakes out with only 5 horses in the race. And Timeform US believes that it could be a situation that favors front runners. And the #1 world record, adding blinkers, might be the one to get to the front, as he did 2 starts back when wiring a maiden group. Didn't make the lead last time out. Perhaps he's the one to be aggressive here. Donegal Momentum, the 2, who also has the fastest Timeform US late pace rating, has shown speed. And the 3 Pure Force also is pretty quick. So I'm not really sure how this shakes out.
I'm not either. I could certainly see the one, Pratt gets aggressive with the one from the rail and they wind up on the lead in here. But even if that's the case, the other 4 horses in here they all have speed. They're all very tactical. I don't think anybody's going to be too far away in here.
And the one is world record, and we'll start with him, a son of Gun Runner, again getting blinkers for the first time. His most recent start was in a stake at Churchill Downs. He caught a wet track, and he caught a pretty fast pace set by a favored gate-to-wire winner. She was on a hard chase down towards the inside on the turn, was down and tight a little bit, and then just flattened out at the end. I think he is probably at his best when he gets to the front, and I think Pratt will be aggressive.
Yeah, they probably come out of there running in to see what happens. He looked good winning 2 back when he just had control of that pace throughout. A much tougher field last time against Raging Torrent, who's just in wicked form right now. That horse made the lead. This horse had a little bit of a look at him, Dan. Up the inside in the stretch, he got maybe to his hindquarters there. He just was no match for that horse. He ran okay. He's a contender in here. Blinkers going on. Maybe that's enough to ensure that he just makes the lead.
Donegal Momentum is the #2, a facile debut winner going 3/4 of a mile over a muddy track. He earned a strong 92 buyer, and based off that effort, he was odds on, facing older horses in this first level allowance, going a 1-turn mile. Now, he was able to make the lead, and for a brief second, Mike, it looks like he's home free at the 3/16 pole, but you'll notice at the 8th pole, he starts to shorten stride, going up and down a little bit, and he gets run down in the shadow of the wire. Maybe it was just a situation where at this point in his career, a mile's a bridge too far.
Yeah, that's how I looked at the race. I mean, I don't love that he gets beat by this horse, who's just at the end of the day, Dan, the horse that runs him down just isn't very good. But you just want to be considerate as far as distance goes. It seemed that Donegal Momentum just didn't want any part of the mile. We're going to cut him back here. His debut was really good. He fits on figures. He has speed. I think he's a really dangerous horse in this race.
Pure Force is the #3. And just considering that he's an unbeaten, well-bred Juddmonte homebred trained by Brad Cox, he might be the longest price on the tote board because his buyer speed figures are a little bit light. His win last time out at Churchill was really strong. I like that he was able to come to hand so nicely once he made the lead. And that first quarter was nice and easy for him. He gradually sped it up, and then he was just too much for those horses in the stretch. The way he won that race makes me think that if they want to take a seat just off the leaders, he'll be very comfortable doing it.
That's how I looked at him too. I mean, he certainly had all the best of it last time. He just cleared that field from the outside post with no trouble. And from there, he just never really gave them a chance. I still thought he looked good winning. I really liked the way he finished that race off. I was also just kind of really taken with his debut though, Dan. To me, he just looked like he just did that all on talent alone. And another race where he just finished it off with a really big run. I think he's good. And I feel like he's the horse who probably just gets overlooked a little bit in here. I'm not so sure that he can't go with these horses. He's got to up his game a little bit, sure, but this horse has a chance to be really good.
Jefferson Street is the #4. He's won 2 of his last 3 starts, including a 1:02 buyer speed figure in this race during the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival meet at Saratoga. It was a speed-friendly track. The favorite made the lead and carved out some fast fractions. Jefferson Street, though, is pretty handy, tracking the pace in 3rd, and once he gets to the front, it's all over but the shouting. A good-looking effort for a progressive son of Street Sense trained by Belmont.
Yeah, really, really good performance here. He certainly had a great trip in here. They flew in front of this horse. He sat off it. He just powers past this field through the stretch with a big figure. That's the race that sort of stands out, Dan. His other 4 races, they're good, but they do not stand out on paper against this field. So we'll just see if it's just a case where he repeats that last performance, then he's probably going to be really hard to handle in here, but he's still got to do it. And he's the morning line favorite.
Valentine Candy is a 4-time stakes winner. He's won 5 times in his career. The rest of the field combined, they've won 6 races. And Valentine Candy was in tough last time out in the Grade 1 Woody Stevens at Saratoga, facing Bookham Dano, who could be the best 3-year-old dirt sprinter in the country. He came back and won a stake at Monmouth last time out with a 101 buyer. Valentine Candy just got ran off his feet a little bit in that race, Mike. He wasn't disgraced. His prior efforts show that he is a strong finisher.
Yeah, he ran fine in the Woody Stevens. It was just a little too tough for him. The pace a little too fast. There was nothing wrong with his performance in there, though. It's not like he was totally embarrassed by better horses. Again, he's a 4-time stakes winner, super handy and tactical from the outside post. He always shows up. I think he's the horse to beat in here, Dan.
Joel Rosario picks up the mount. He rode this horse for a victory in the Renaissance Stakes down at Oak Lawn over the winter. Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 2 Amsterdam, going 6.5 furlongs at the Spa on Friday. Mike, you're going with Pure Force. He's still unexposed. He's very lightly raced, and I don't think we've even really scratched the surface of his potential.
I don't think so either. It's not going to be easy for him to win here, Dan. But again, I just feel like he's going to be the best price of the horses I was considering. I like that you put Donegal Momentum on top because I want to use that horse as well. I just kind of felt like Valentine Candy was the horse to beat. And if he is going to be 3-1, I think that's a very fair price.
I don't want to give up on Donegal Momentum just yet. It was somewhat of a disappointing loss at odds on last time, but I think getting back to his sprint and getting back in with 3-year-olds could help. And I do like his tactical speed. He has as much upside, I think, as any in the race. 3-5-2-4 for Mike, 2-1-4-5 for me. We'll see what Jefferson Street can do off that triple-digit buyer in the Grade 2 Amsterdam. Good luck.